So the next thing you need to understand and know for yourself as another principle is just to discover what you're deeply passionate about. Because people talk about these passive income streams, right? You need passive income streams. But even with those passive income streams, they're not really passive, and you need to find something that you actually can afford to do where time is concerned and have the energy and the drive to do. You understand? So let's say I want to give you an example of a passive income stream. I have a friend who has an apartment that has more rooms than he needs, and he lives alone. So what he's done is he's taken one of the rooms, spruced it up, and he loves to cook. He's spruced it up and he has put it on Airbnb. And so he makes money every single month because he has people coming in from everywhere in the world who want to come to Kenya but don't want to pay a hotel a lot of money. They prefer to live in an apartment or a home environment, and they're not paying too much money. So he makes money more than he would if he got a roommate. And a roommate is an inconvenience because now you go into other challenges. But this guy is here for a week and he's gone, 4 days and he's gone, a weekend and he's gone. And so he puts the apartment on Airbnb. If he was not passionate about cooking or passionate about having a clean house, would he be successful at Airbnb? It would be very difficult for him to even get a customer. So there's something I want to share with you, and it's some research that was done by a gentleman called Jim Collins. Those of you who may have read the book, It's Good to Great. And they did some research over some 6 years and looked at 1,435 companies and studied them and their performance over a period of 40 years. So the companies have been in existence for a long time, many years, and looked at what is it that made these companies really do well and which of these companies actually moved or transitioned from being good to being great. And they narrowed down to only 11 of these companies, just 11 of them. And it was interesting, as they looked at the different companies, they noticed some themes that were common through all these different companies. And they were like, hiya, this is so interesting, that these companies all seem to have the same themes. And so he used this Greek mythology about foxes and hedgehogs and came up with this thing he calls the hedgehog concept. Have you heard of the hedgehog concept? Never? So the hedgehog concept talks about, okay, I'll talk about the concept, but the hedgehog and the fox are very different. So the fox is a predator and it moves around and it can do many things. It's fast and it's, but it's all over the place. And it's here and then it's there and it's eating this and it's going there and it's doing that. It has many strategies and so on and so forth. But the companies, he said, that were and those were the 1,420 something companies that were like that. They're not really known for one main thing. The hedgehog, however, doesn't have too many things that it does very well, just one. When a predator comes, it just curls up into a ball and its spikes kind of just stick out. And so the fox can't even try and eat this thing because it's like, can't get a paw in because it's all curled up nicely into a perfect little ball that nobody can access or penetrate through. And so these guys were like, all these companies that transitioned to being great had identified that one thing that they were deeply passionate about and were, all their energies were geared towards this one thing and being the best at it. So this is the concept that they then arrived at. And they said, what you need to then do, and I've used it now for our personal lives, so it applies both to business and your personal life. And this is the principle. So then you try and find, what are you deeply passionate about as a person? What are you deeply passionate about? The second thing you need to find is, what can you be the best in the world at? And in the world is in your community, in your neighborhood, in where the city you live in, doesn't matter. What can you be the best in the world at? And then thirdly, how will it pay you? How will it pay you? Because you can be deeply passionate about something and you're just passionate about food. you're a foodie, that's what they call themselves. But you can't cook to save the world. Maybe just eggs and chips. And being passionate about food is great because it will pay you because you can sell food. But because you're not good at it, are you going to sell any plate? So that's a dream. You're passionate, yes, and it will pay you, but you're not good at it. That's a dream. If you're passionate about it and you can be the best in the world at it, but it will not pay you, is it sustainable? No, you'll not be able to do it for very long, because if it's not paying you, yes, the passion is great, but if it's not paying you, then you need to find, how can I make this thing pay me? Or you're deeply, so for example, I'm singing and I love to sing and I'm really good at singing, but then I only sing at church and I'm passionate about it. I'm the best in all churches in singing, but I need to find a way of monetizing this gift by seeing, what do I need to do for this thing to pay me? Perhaps I need to record this music, or maybe I can teach in a school, or maybe I can write songs for people, whatever it is. How can I find a way to monetize this thing I'm deeply passionate about? And if I'm deeply passionate about it and it will pay me, however, I'm not the best. We've already done that. If it will pay me and I'm the best in the world at it, but I just could not I hate it. I'm not passionate about it, I don't enjoy it, then it won't work out because I'll be miserable. A lot of people that I speak to say, oh yeah, I'm an architect, but I hate what I do. If I would have it my way, I'd rather be a musician, for example. So it's like, okay, fine, you're an architect and it's paying the bills, but then you can't be the best architect there is because you're just not passionate about it. So these three things have to go in tandem for you to find your sweet spot and to maximize the potential that you have in you. So find what you're deeply passionate about and see within that passion, what can I potentially be the best in the world at? And how will it pay me? Jim Collins calls it your economic engine. Then you have a sweet spot there. And it applies to business and also your personal lives.